Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from the one dialing in from this part of the world, Dubai and around Africa. Good morning for our America dialers and good evening for the one dialing in Asia and in Vanuatu. So welcome back to our webinar series. Today we'll be discussing Vanuatu, one of the program that is available in the Pacific. And we'll have the chance also of having Ronald, the chairman of the CIU, with us. So that's a very rare opportunity, and we're looking forward to discussing with him and hear from him all of the developments regarding first Vanuatu as a country, and second regarding all of the recent development of Vanuatu, because been in the press, and I'm sure a lot of you are dying to hear from the chairman himself. But before that, as usual, we'll do an introduction about the group and about Reef Trust. So who we are headquartered in Dubai, UAE. We are part of the Latitude Group, so we have a network of 17 offices worldwide and growing, and more than 80 professionals. And we have offices in Europe, in Americas, and in Asia. So we've been established since 2013, and we've helped more than 1,300 high net worth individuals to obtain citizenship or residency by investment. So not only we are promoting these programs, but we also create them and help governments to implement and design such programs. So we have a dedicated government advisory team where the group CEO Eric Major sits on it, myself and Chris Willis. We also have a B2B team focus. So this is a unique and a growing team within the group, spanning from here in the UAE to Asia and to the America. So we have a dedicated B2B team that will assist you with all of the processing and help you market, create, and it's unraveled, and we're very proud and happy of having such an extraordinary team with professionals coming from different backgrounds. And we're very proud to be one of the very few that is international marketing agent in all of the programs that we are offering, from the 5 in the Caribbean, 3 in Europe, Vanuatu, and obviously also the other residency programs. And it's important to note that Latitude is Investment Migration Council Representative Office. So what is IMC? IMC is a governing body of our industry, and we are representing in the Caribbean, and also we are supporting the IMC globally. Next slide is about the reason for mobility and citizenship. So the obvious reason is mobility, and as per our motto, which is Hello Freedom. So we help our clients to be more mobile themselves and their family for business purposes or family reason. And the others, I will not go through all of the reason, but it can be a plan B, it can be like a quality of life, and can be also for a business reason and retirement tax planning. So we've seen an increased number of citizenship and residency motivations, and it's a growing requirement. We'll go through what are the proposition. Citizenship by investment, in a nutshell, this one is a second passport. So to be able to obtain a second passport in, let's say, around 6 months to 18 months. So depending on the programs in the Caribbean, in Europe, and in the Pacific. Residency by investment, this one is more golden, what we call a golden visa, and they are popular in Europe, for example, in the case of Portugal, in the case of Malta, in the case of Greece, the case also of UK investor visa, or Canada, as we've seen it. So this is what we call a residency by investment. And there's a new variant, which is a tax residency. So this one is more for tax reasons, and we were the first company to introduce the tax residency in Anguilla. So it's a current program that is available. Anguilla is another country in the Caribbean between St. Barth and St. Martin. So it's an interesting proposition. So now let's focus on Vanuatu. Not sure how familiar is our audience with Vanuatu. Vanuatu is a small island near the Fijis, close to Australia, so and near the French colonies of Nouvelle Calédonie. And it used to be a French and British colonies that got independence. I think they got celebrated their 40 years anniversary last year. And it's it gives access to 130 countries, including the EU, Schengen area, the UK, Singapore, and Hong Kong. So it gives access to the full passport is granted to the spouse and to the children below 18 years old, or below 25 if they are dependent, and we can also include the parent in the applications. There's no global taxations, no personal income tax, no gift, no inheritance tax in these countries. The oath of allegiance is taken remotely, so an applicant doesn't need to travel to Vanuatu to get the citizenship. So this is an interesting fact about the Vanuatu that compares also to the other Caribbean program that we have. Now, what are the current options available? So it's what we call a contribution, government contribution, a donation. There's no yet, like as we see in the other countries, real estate investment or business setup. In Vanuatu for now, it's only a donation, and we will be asking what are the development, if any, regarding the options that are available in Vanuatu. But as you can see, start with a $130,000 donation for single applicant and $180,000 for family of four, and these are non-refundable. So it's a donation that is given to the government. So we will go into detail of a family, let's say a single applicant and family, main applicant plus spouse and family of four. So this is just to give you a timeline. And we will hear also from the chairman of the CIU regarding the due diligence. But right now, if we analyze what are the payment timelines, so it starts with a payment of $5,000 fees. This is like for the due diligence. This one is like the first payment that needs to be made. Obviously, this is without the professional fees, but with this first $5,000, we make the payment to the government, and we get the first decision regarding your files, what we call a pre-approval. So once this pre-approval is obtained, and we'll see what kind of documents needs to be submitted in the next slides. But with this first $5,000, we get a decision, and then depending on this first decision, we continue or not the application. So this is something different from the Caribbean, where in the Caribbean we gather all of the file, we submit to the Citizenship by Investment Unit, and then after 3 months, an approval is given. In the one of the advantage is we need to pay only this first $5,000 to get a pre-approval, and then we submit the rest of the document. So obviously we will help you during the timeline of the applications. Then after we make the second payment, which is 30% of the contribution. And then after, on final approval, we will pay the remaining amount, and then the certificate of naturalization and passport are released. So as you can see here, you have the amount for single applicant, main applicant, and family of four. So it's 135. This one are pure donation plus the FIUs, and then on top of that, there are professional fees that obviously depend on the family composition and other elements that needs to be taken into consideration during the submission. So during the stage 1, as mentioned earlier, so what we'll require is a passport copy, your national ID, CV, and police clearance. So with this stage and a payment of $5,000, we can get the pre-approval. So we'll require only this first document in stage 1. Then once we have the pre-approval, then we will go into the rest of the document. These are pretty standard documents: birth certificate, proof of fund, bank statement, professional reference letters, medical certificate that we'll find also in the other programs. So at this stage 2, we'll pay like the 30% as shown in the previous slide. And then on approval, we'll pay like the 70% remaining of the contribution amount. So I've explained already in some of the slides before, but it's more or less a 4-month process, and it's one of the fastest route to citizenship. In roughly 4 months, we will have your certificate of naturalization and passport issued. So from the first pre-approval, this one you will hear from the chairman, is it's less than a week, I would say, pre-approval. Then we gather all of the documents. This takes 2 to 3 weeks to gather the stage 2. Then it goes to on a committee, sitting committee, where decision is made with the first payment of the 30%, and then the remaining payment is made after the sitting committee. So now you will have heard about Vanuatu, and obviously we'll have a Q&A session at the end to answer all of your questions. But now, without further delay, we will be welcoming Mr. Ronald Warsal, who has been the chairman of the Citizenship by Investment Unit since, I think, last year. Now it's been less than a year, but we've seen some tremendous changes in the committee. So we are very excited to have him join us today for an insight into the programs. And as I mentioned, we'll have a Q&A session where you can start already sending your questions either on the Q&A button or by sending them. Okay, now we are welcoming Mr. Chairman Ronald Warsal. Thank you so much for being with us today and taking time out of your busy schedule. So we are very grateful for you being with us today. So thank you. So if you can, I will ask you a couple of questions. So first of all, welcome. And we're happy to have you in our webinar series. A lot of questions that our listeners want to hear from you. First of all, I will ask you, what kind of benefit advisory companies like us, like Reef Trust and the Latitude Group, have brought to the island of Vanuatu?
Reef Trust and Latitude Group, in my view, has helped bring revenue, credibility, excellence, and professionalism to our program. And we are proud to have them as a contributor, to the Vanuatu TSP program, especially given these difficult times of COVID-19, where borders are closed. Much of our revenue comes from the program, and thanks to Reef Trust and Latitude and the Latitude Group for contributing to the progress and the credibility of the program on a world stage.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, definitely, we appreciate your kind word, and me being there before the COVID was my last trip. So we could see the importance of the revenue, the FDIs coming in. So thank you for that. Now, if we dive into what are the core benefits for the CBI investors, and including like the benefits coming from the membership of the Commonwealth of Nations, if you can elaborate on that for our listeners. Some of them are familiar with the Vanuatu programs, others are not. So if you can please explain a little bit on that.
Yes, I think that the core benefits for CIP investors who want to acquire Vanuatu citizenship is that the core benefits are it is a distinctive nationality. There are no residency requirements. You have a passport for 10 years, which is renewable. and citizenship is hereditary. Once you have the passport, your children and whoever, they're entitled to the same. This is the current law. We have visa-free to a lot of countries in the world, but then a few, UK, Ireland, Russia, and then I think even we have most of the countries in the EU. This represents 36.6 of the world's wealth measured by GDP, and 64.7% of worldwide travel popularity based on international visitors. The 148 destinations include 130 countries and 18 overseas territories. The other thing is Vanuatu is a tax haven and it's tax-free. There is no income tax, no corporate tax, wealth or inheritance tax. Vanuatu also, Vanuatu citizens under the Commonwealth membership of some 52 countries benefit from visa-free travel, education and other business opportunities. So I think that is the benefit, the core benefits for our CIP investors.
No, definitely. That thanks for reminding all of his benefits, obviously. And how would you describe the attitude, of acquiring citizenship in Vanuatu regarding and are they, and to what degree are they welcome in Vanuatu?
The program itself, I think it's in our view, on a market, on a world market, ours is affordable, trusted, it's quick processing, and we deliver one of the best citizens in the world. We are reviewing and strengthening to ensure that we will be a market leader in terms of the program. In terms of citizenship, acquiring citizenship, investors acquiring citizenship, they're welcome to come to Vanuatu. In fact, it's no surprise Vanuatu has been voted, I think 3 times the happiest place on the planet. We've done it more better than any other country. So that shows that we're a friendly country. Acquiring a citizenship, anyone is welcome here to visit or to come and invest here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember that, and it reminded me of you had, I think, from my memories, you had like underwater post. That's amazing, and Vanuatu is very welcoming, and I hope to be back soon there. But yeah, no, definitely. Thank you so much, Ronald. So now, having talked about Vanuatu, now let's see what is the competition. And if we can tell us what is different from the CBI from the Caribbean to European based, how you also get inspiration or from them. So if you can elaborate.
Just in short, I think ours is quicker processing and whether the benefits at a competitive price. That's all. Yes.
No, definitely. I mean, in terms of speed, we've seen that, and yeah, it's a competitive one. Now we've heard some discussion regarding this green, yellow passport, these kind of things. Can you elaborate a little bit on this controversy and what is the take of the CIU and the government on this?
The current legal framework only allows for a green passport. And that is the one that is provided for our CIP investors. And that is provided for under the DSP and the other program, VCP. These are the 2 programs that we run at the moment. Vanuatu will continue to use the green passport. There are no changes, or nor am I aware of any changes in legislation that is being passed by government to change from a green passport or to a yellow one. So to put it in short, Vanuatu, we only have 1 green passport, and that's it.
No, that's very important, and this is what we've been reaffirming to our client, and yeah, that's excellent. Now we talked about COVID and obviously how it has impacted some of the countries, and also we've seen some changes in other Caribbean countries. So what are the new regulation that investors should know about that has been brought because of the COVID?
The due diligence fees has increased to US 5,000. This is just to ensure that the checks are done through international database checks, and otherwise other regulations remain the same. But the due diligence fees are only increased to ensure that the people that we get who acquire the citizenship through the CPI programs, the people that should be welcomed anywhere they go with a passport and shouldn't have problems. That's basically
okay. Okay. No, thanks for that. And if we can stay there because of the COVID, how has COVID impacted the submission and the processing times, if at all? Was it you've seen a slowdown or an increase in the processing?
Despite the COVID, the income derived from the program has exceeded the previous year. So from our point of view, the COVID hasn't affected the program. I mean, people are looking beyond post-COVID, having more options for plan A and B. So our target for this year is on track as well for the last 3 months, 2.5 months.
Okay, that's excellent. That's excellent. You mentioned like an increase in the due diligence of $5,000. So how have the regulation affected the program cost structure? Because outside of this extra fees, there's not been any increase, I would say, in the cost structure of the program.
There is no other increase. The only one we have now is the US dollar that has increased. As I said earlier on, this is just to ensure that our intelligence unit here has contacts with some of the best in the world, so that they pay the fees monthly, so that we make sure that our due diligence should be one of the best. And
perfect. Now let's dive into something that has been recently hit the news. Some of these fake news, about the visa-free access being revoked for the UK and the Schengen area. Can you please? I mean, I think a lot of our listeners wants to hear from you about this and reconfirm the position on UK and Schengen visa-free.
We were shocked. The government was shocked, and I think that news certainly stirred up a bit of curiosity here in Vanuatu. As far as the dialogue that we have with the EU and to date, there are issues that we were having with the EU, but there's a dialogue going on between EU and us. There is no problem. They've requested us information and we've given them. So that news that came out is not true. Just to put in short, was probably put by from a media outlet that that's probably from one of our competitors. Probably I put it that way, but it's not true. Our visa waiver with the EU is still set, and that has been confirmed by their respective governments.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you for reconfirming that. If you may, I mean, do you know like the tenor of the visa-free extension? Is there a limit on that, or is it like, is it perpetual?
I think it can be more. I put it that way. Yes.
Okay. Thanks for reconfirming that. That's very important. Now, in terms, we've been talking about the UK Schengen area. Now, what are the expected new visa-free countries that Vanuatu citizen can expect with a Vanuatu passport?
Thank you. We have started negotiations with as of today. I think there is a process going on. The process has started for the government to try and negotiate as well with other countries, possibly I think Canada, Turkey, if I can recall, and even China. So I think as we speak, there is a process going on. We've requested Foreign Affairs. Foreign Affairs has been requested to liaise and negotiate for us to obtain a visa waiver with other countries, just to to make sure that the passports that our investors that have the passports, even Vanuatu citizens, to travel freely to these countries.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, and that's good news. Canada is definitely is high on the list, so we're looking forward to see the progress and the development there. Now, as per the program is concerned, there's only one donation option. Is there any discussion of having a real estate or investment, a business startup option in the future? Because we've seen a lot of our clients always, obviously, some of our clients don't want to donate; they prefer to invest, be it in real estate or others. So, yeah.
Thank you. Your question is timely, Mr. Mumun. In fact, I would like to announce that the government at the next our parliament is amending the Citizenship Act in April. In April, the law will be changed, and there will be a new another option to be included, and that is the real estate option. So that answer your question.
That's good. I think that's a very scoop. Let's put it this way. And that's thanks for giving us the primauté of this news, and it's welcome, because our investor, obviously, if you look into the citizenship by investment programs, almost all of the countries have an investment option. So we will be for sure we'll be following up that development very carefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about this process, what kind of, is there any further plan to enhance the CBI program as mentioned, and what can future applicants expect from Vanuatu CBI programs?
When I assumed the chairmanship last year, I said the government was probably doing a review and upgrading or adding more options. And as I just told you, there will be a real estate option. And currently we are also working to improve our due diligence. Just to ensure that nothing arouses make that anybody has a concern about our due diligence process. But at this stage, we believe our due diligence is it's one of the best. At this stage, we've changed him. We've upgraded it 4 times already for the records. So, but we continue to improve, and we will improve it again this year. There will be, as I said, there will be maybe some minor amendments to the existing regulations that exist for FIU, and just to make sure that we're on the safe side.
No, definitely. I think that's, you came almost, there's been election last year. You came after when the new government was formed. A lot of things have changed, and the figures speak for themselves. Last year it was a record year. And happy to see that you are on track also to for your budget. So clearly there've been improvement in the process, in the due diligence, and it's good to see that. And obviously now talking about this COVID, because I think still the borders are closed, right, in Vanuatu. So how would you describe now, if we take it from a country point of view, how would you describe the country's economic future? During and post-COVID?
Well, as is, the COVID has changed the world. The COVID has changed how we work. Like if I can't come to Tupai, then I have to have a webinar with you, Minuman, and the team. That is one small aspect of it. But in terms of economic-wise, yes, the COVID. We're a tourism country, probably like other countries. And our economy relies on tourism. Tourism contributes a big portion of our GDP. And when the COVID came, that has affected our GDP, in fact, our budget. And that's what I said. In fact, the residency program is one of our major contributors at the moment to the national budget.
Oh, definitely. No, good on that. I mean, before going into like the other news, I just want to come back on I would say the program itself, and some of the other programs in the Caribbean have included siblings in the definition. Is it something that you want to expand also, like the siblings being dependent of the main applicant can be included in the application? Is it something that you are looking at from, I would say, a CAU point of view?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Hun. As I said, currently there is a review going on to amend our regulations that govern such entitlements. So in the event that the review recommends for a change in that regard for the benefit of the program, then it will happen. It will depend on the review.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. I think that's clear on that, and obviously we've been talking about the program itself. So now, if you can tell us what are the top 10 nationalities applying for the Vanuatu program?
Yeah. So we have China, we have the Middle East, we have Africa. Africa has pulled now, the way I see it, and Europe.
Europe, that's good. That's good on that. And you've seen, like, in terms of visa-free, you said earlier about like all of the new visa that you're having in negotiation. So that's good. Staying into that, and this is something that obviously maybe you don't have the answer because this is part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But for our clients here in the Middle East, it's important to have a consular representation. Any plan of having a consulate or embassy in this part of the world? I mean, in the UAE or in Africa?
Well, certainly it should be in the near future because of the growing number of citizens that we have abroad. So there should be. So we're doing a report for the government, and hopefully when the report gets to the government about the nationalities and on the different areas, then probably that should help the government in deciding where they should set up consular offices.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you for that. And obviously we will be following up and advising our clients regarding this progress. Now, in terms of we talked about like the top 3 nationalities. I mean, which growth market you want to target over the next 3 years? It's going to be still the same: Middle East, Africa, China, or is there any new market that you would like to develop?
We have China, Middle East. We have the Africa. These are for me, these are the growing markets. And then Europe, we even have Europe, and then we also have on the radar, we have people from the US applying as CIB investors. Yes.
Yeah, Americas. It's yeah, we have had some requests from Americas and also from Latin America. So that's interesting.
That's good for all of us, yes.
No, definitely. No, we have an office in Canada and in the US, and obviously they're feeding us with some prospect, and that's interesting. Well, I mean, I want to still have a couple of minutes left. I mean, I wanted to have your if you have a final message that you want to convey to potential investor before we close down the webinar, I would say, if you can have some words.
Thank you. I think as Mr. Mimun, as chairman, I would like to thank all contributors so far for supporting the Vanuatu TSP since its launch in 2017. And in fact, as I said, grief, trust, and gratitude play an integral part as well in supporting the program in the Middle East. Vanuatu is paradise in my view, and that's a bit biased, but it's been voted, as I said, the happiest place on earth, and our citizenship is one of the best in the world. We welcome you all to join our Vanuatu family, and hope to see you all when the borders open. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that. I mean, just I will make a final comment before leaving you the final word, because obviously I want you to close that webinar with another final word. But on our side, I mean, on behalf of the board and all our clients, listeners, and colleagues and partners, we'd like to thank you for this exciting webinar where you give us some good insight, some new development to follow. So we'll be keeping our partners and clients informed about this development. Obviously, myself, as I mentioned earlier, it was my last trip before, I would say, the COVID, and I'm missing Vanuatu. So hopefully we'll be able to go back soon. But this year, I think you also have the Expo 2020 in Dubai is gonna happen. So you'll have a delegation. I think you also have your National Day celebration, and hopefully you'll have some of the people from the government and from the CAU here. So we're also looking forward to having you here in Dubai, celebrate this Expo 2020 we'll have the chance to come to see you again in Vanuatu. But again, thank you so much for your time. I will let you the final word for closing. Thank you for your time, and it was a very interesting session. And again, looking forward to seeing you and your team very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mimun. It's been a pleasure having this webinar. I think, as I said, some new developments as our real estate option will be coming soon, and we're looking for other places to get visa-free access. So these are some of the new developments. We're increasing our due diligence, so we're moving forward. So it's good news for our CPI investors and for those that are stakeholders that are partaking in the program, Citizenship program, like a Reef Trust and the Latitude Group. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.